Hello, I'm Ethan, and today I'm reviewing Pantera's Cowboys from Hell. Now, there's a bit of an issue when reviewing music. You know, movies and video games, you can say broad statements, you can review parts of it as a whole, and it's just generally easier. Now, music, when reviewing an album, songs can vary from terrible to great, but all in the same album. So if there's a ton of terrible songs, it's a terrible album. But if there's a mix, it's a lot harder. So what I've done, I went a bit nerdy. I made a spreadsheet. I made a spreadsheet of all the different songs and judged them on things such as their riffs, tones, technical skill, the lyrics, and the length of the song. So riffs is obvious, you know, how well is the guitar riff? Is it catchy? Does it work well with the song? Tone, I didn't really rank, I really just more described it. Technical skill, how good the solos and drumming and bass and all that extra stuff is. Well, not extra stuff, it's part of the song. It's not extra stuff. Lyricism is not necessarily how deep the lyrics are, but more how well they fit with the song, you know, what message they're trying to convey, and if it comes across well. And the length is more supposed to be if the length fits the song. You know, a 2-minute song can be great, a 9-minute song can be great if they're filled right. But if they're real long, but if they're filled wrong, then it can be a crappy song. So what I did is I gauged each song an overall score and averaged it out, and that's what I'm rating the album. So I started with the titular song, Cowboy from Hell. Now, most people who haven't even heard of Pantera have probably heard this song, any metal fan anyway. It's got that iconic riff, you know, the one that goes... It's really cool, really heavy song. Technical skill, I rated that at 10 out of 10. I mean, Dimebag Darrell has some amazing guitar solos, and the drum fills really complement the riffs. Lyricism, I gave it a 9 out of 10. They're a bit simple, but I mean, they're effective to get their point across. There really is no point to it. It's just a cool sounding song. And finally, we have length. I gave that a 10 out of 10. I think it goes really well. And overall, I give this song a 10 out of 10. I mean, it's an iconic Pantera song. Up next, we have Primal Concrete Sledge. Yeah, what a name. So riffs, I put 9 out of 10. It's a really simple riff, mostly just one note repeated and muted. It's real mean and heavy sounding, and I gave it, once again, a 10 out of 10 because Pantera is just really good at what they do. In lyricism, I gave it an 8 out of 10. I said it was, I think the lyrics are nonsensical, they don't really mean anything, but they're just there to make the song sound angry. I don't really mind it. Actually, I think they're a lot of fun, the lyrics. But my only problem with it is that it's, I mean, if I'm being a bit nitpicky, it's too short. I would have liked it to go on for another verse or so. Now, I am a bit biased. I do really like this song, so I give it a 9 out of 10, despite it having a couple flaws. Next is Psycho Holiday. It's about an 8 out of 10. It's catchy, but it's a bit repetitive. This is one of those songs that is a bit lengthy. It's slower. It's huge quotation marks because it's not a slow song at all, but it's slower compared to the first two. Really, all the songs are 10 out of 10 on the technical prowess and whatnot. So just call it all the songs. I'm going to omit this category, actually, because all of Pantera is a great band. The song itself is about quitting alcohol, and I think they do really good metaphors for it. But I think it's, I don't know, there's just something missing that I can't put my finger on. I only gave that a 9 out of 10 only. Overall, the song is also a 9 out of 10. So Heresy, how do you say that? Is it Heresy? I think it's Heresy. That's a 10 out of 10. It's got lots of great riffs. There's multiple, of course, as any song has multiple riffs. It's one of those fast and loud songs. Really nails Pantera's sound, in my opinion. Although the lyrics and the theme of the song are kind of generic, it's just that world sucks kind of stuff. Not that amazing, in my opinion. But it is a good length. Overall, I'd say it's a 9 out of 10 song as well. A lot of good reviews so far. Up next is Cemetery Gates. It also has some absolutely iconic riffs, if you know Pantera. Can I even play music without getting like copyright strike or something. Whatever, I'm gonna do it anyway. It's a little fast, but mostly kind of lighter, similar to Metallica's Unforgiven. And I think the song, it's about death and dealing with the lost. I think Wipe was the story, and I think that's really good for a metal song. I mean, that's really meaningful as heavy metal gets, really. And I think it's a great length. I think it's an amazing song. I give it a 10 out of 10 as well. Up next is Domination. I put the riffs at an 8 out of 10 because, I mean, they're cool, but it's really not enough. It's more on the simple side. I mean, it sounds good, but it's not crazy good, I guess. It's not enough to warrant a 10 out of 10. It is a very thrashy and angry song, similar to, you know, something Megadeth would come out with. I give it a 9 out of 10 on the lyrics. They're really cool, really angry, but it definitely drags on a bit, which is why I give it a 9 out of 10 only. Up next is Shattered. Shattered's really technically cool with all the stuff the guitar's doing. It's a really intense and fast song, but it does have just generic metal song lyrics. I mean, it's about, you know, world sucks, you know, screw society kind of stuff, which, I mean, that gets really old fast if you listen to a lot of metal music. But it is a good length, and it's so far the lowest rating at 8 out of 10. How terrible. Next we have Clash of Reality. There's nothing wrong with the riffs, they didn't do it for me. I just didn't like it for some reason. But it did sound like it honestly could come straight out of Megadeth, and I do like Megadeth a lot. But once again, it's another generic "the world sucks" kind of song. That's like the third one on the album, and it's got a good length. It's fitting. I give that an 8 out of 10 as well. Now we're coming on to near the end of the album with Medicine Man. It's a pretty badass song. I mean, the riffs are awesome. It's very low and heavy, similar to Black Sabbath, something they would come out with. The lyrics, they get the point across just fine, and it's got a good length. I think I'll give it a 10 out of 10. Up next is Message in Blood, and for the riffs, I literally just put 10 out of 10 raw. I mean, I guess that's the way to describe it. I don't know, I'm having trouble. Music reviews aren't exactly my strong suit. I don't know if I'll continue doing them. It's a slower riff, or it's a slower song, but it's still extremely heavy. It's actually from Charles Manson's point of view, and talking about how even though he did all these terrible things, he never directly did them, and that somewhat makes him innocent. I don't know. I don't think I'd consider him, Charles Manson, innocent, and I don't think they actually consider him innocent either. It's just kind of one of those makes you think a little bit songs. But it does go on a touch too long, but I think I can forgive that and give it a 10. All right, last two. You talk. The first one is The Sleep. The riffs aren't really much special. It's got a cool acoustics parts throughout the song, but the actual distortion guitar, heavy part, I don't really like all that, honest. It is actually the slowest and the lightest song on the album, and what's funny is that could probably be the fastest and the heaviest song on other albums, so that's pretty cool for Pantera. 9 out of 10, songs about death and dying. I think it gets its point across, but it is also being a nitpicky. It's a bit too long. I'm going to give it about an 8 out of 10. Just didn't do it for me. And finally, we have The Art of Shredding. And my notes literally just say, holy, that bass. Because it has an amazing bass line. I mean, I'm a sucker for good bass lines, and it sounds awesome. It's a really heavy, fast song. Honestly, take a shot every time I say heavy. Go back and watch it from the beginning, because I'm just saying heavy and fast adjectives all over again. Lyrics, there's no big message, they're just cool lyrics. And it's a great length. I'm also going to give it a 10 out of 10. I might be biased. I really like this album. I gave it a 9 out of 10. And if you don't listen to a lot of metal, I wouldn't start with this album. I'd go with something lighter like Metallica's self-titled album. Now, that's not light. to say, but it does have more radio-friendly songs, I guess. But if you like metal, and for some reason you haven't listened to Cowboys of Hell, go do it. It's a good time. See ya. That's that.